Alright, hello everybody. This is a video that has been a while in the making. About a month ago, I ended up going to Disney World and naturally bought some stuff there, and this is everything I bought there. Just within the span of the past month or so, I have recorded individual edited reviews for each of these, and I waited until I had all of them edited and put together, and now that they are, I can upload this finally. But yeah, this is 7 things. Let's get into it, I guess. Alright, this is the Buzz Lightyear spinner. This one's fairly new. I think it replaced this one, which I had previously, and this one I think dates back to, or at least this design dates back to the 90s when Astro Blasters first came out, so this one was definitely in need of an update. In terms of the face sculpt, I don't know if I'd call it better than this one. I think this one still looks a bit better. A lot more paint on this one. This one is very much just the raw plastic. His arms are stuck in this position. I don't know why they're like this. I think it's just to show whenever he's spinning, it's like, ooh, it's not like his arms are off to the side or whatever. The feet are very long. I think because you're holding it like a handle, the proportions are kind of off on that. It doesn't have the Lightyear sticker, which is very strange, but it does have laser and the Star Command logo. And you can see the lights there, which I'll show. The bottom doesn't have anything on it, but it is at least painted. The back, there's the battery compartment and the jetpack, which is really big for some reason. I don't know if it's to house the electronics, but it's like, it's giant compared to the rest of the figure. It looks strange. He's just a giant backpack, and you can see the Karate Chop action button there is like very similar to the Disney Store design, where it's like protruding out, which is kind of interesting. No jet exhaust stuff here, and you can see they did actually even bother to mold the little latch things for the wing mechanism, which is neat. These open up, which I will show. I will warn, this is kind of loud. So the button is located here, and when you push it,
I am Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger. To infinity and beyond.
alright, that is a very loud figure. I don't know if it came across, but it is like, he is super loud. You can see the lights there. This one is inside of the opening portion, and this one is on the outside, so it kind of spreads out the lights a bit, which is good. You can kind of just keep spamming it and it'll play the wing opening sound, which is fun. This light does not actually light up, but this one does. See there, which that's interesting. You wouldn't see it like normally as it's moving, because obviously he's spinning and you're not going to see that very easily, but it is interesting that only one of the lights works, and that's how it's intended. It just looks wrong. It's strange. But yeah, that is that figure. It is pretty cool. It is, I think, 26 bucks, so maybe a bit expensive. I don't know. I'm not totally sure what you'd consider this, like, quality-wise. And then we have these two. These are little vinyl figures. Disney has like a set of these for like different brands. I know there's like a set of Mickey ones, there's a Stitch one, just like all of the same kind of figure set at the Disney parks. And they are just little articulated figures. Little, I'm saying in the sense that they're not movie scale. They are pretty sizable. Buzz here, it looks really good. The face sculpt is excellent. His head can rotate. You can see a lot of this is painted. There's very little printing, which is neat to see, although you can kind of see there's some overlap. The arms rotate. There's a tiny, very tiny little Space Ranger logo. There's the laser. The back jetpack, you can see even though these are like fairly new modern figures, they still have the old jetpack design that Thinkway had in like the 90s, where they just pop straight out instead of popping out, which is neat. I thought that was interesting when I first saw these, which is why I wanted to get them for a long time. There's also a notch here at the top, which I think is supposed to represent the helmet bit, which is neat, although it isn't exactly painted correctly. And then the waist rotates here. It's kind of hard, stiff, very stiff. And then the legs which are, for once, you can see all of the ball joints are painted, which is not something that you see even on the Mattel figures nowadays. And the feet move. So the legs and the arms don't bend. Buzz is kind of just in this strange position, but the feet do kind of move slightly. You can see there's Andy on the bottom, and they even have the screws, which is neat. And the hands also rotate. They're just in these fist positions. And then Woody here. I'm not sure what to think about the face sculpt. I think, honestly, it reminds me of like a mix between the newer figure design and the older Thinkway look. I think that's kind of neat, but it isn't exactly as spot on as the other Buzz. The hat is the same kind of color scheme that you see on their pull string figures. You can see there is the pull string there. There is no sheriff on the badge. It's just solid gold. They bothered to paint in the stitching or whatever for his vest, but it kind of doesn't really work that well because it looks sort of dirty. Like they put that stuff on that you see on like model dioramas and stuff, and the belt buckle's kind of very basic. There is no knee bend. It is just he's got tubes for legs. Yeah, the arms do rotate up. He looks not exactly fantastic without the bends here, but he looks better than Buzz in that position. And the hands do also rotate, which is nice, and their waist does move. There you go. And the feet, the boots, and these are detailed, and he's got Andy on the bottom of the boot again as well. So yeah, those two. They're pretty neat for what they are. I think, honestly, the Mattel figures are probably a better bet, but these are still neat little oddities, I guess. I see them everywhere, and I'm happy to finally have them now, because they are expensive on eBay. They are kind of expensive at Disney parks, but you know, all Disney parks merchandise is like that. That is those. Alright, and then we have the alien sipper thing. Sipper, I guess, is a way to soften the blow of this just being a sippy cup, basically. It is a drink cup. You could choose to get this with or without the actual soda inside of it. I chose to get it with the soda inside of it because what's the point? Got Sprite, and I cleaned this out beforehand, but if it's still wet, it's just because I cleaned it with water. It is just this, you know, solid, or that kind of plastic, you know. There's no articulation on the arms. They are stuck in this position. And yeah, I mean, the detailing's pretty solid, of course, as you would get with these. I took the latches off. Here's the strap. It's got some design on it. Tag that has a very... What am I supposed to do with this then? But yeah, there's the Disney Parks strap thing. And then the alien itself, which I can take the straw out. This is just a little straw, plastic straw. I think this is based on the look that they have in Toy Story Mania, and you can see it still has press here, which it lights up, and there are two light settings for this. So there's this, where it just stays on, and it does eventually turn off, just if you let it sit for a while. And then there's this one, where it goes up. It speeds up. And then that turns it off. It can also be detached like that. You can see there's the metal connectors for where, you know, the batteries connect. And the batteries are replaceable. They're on the bottom here. You can see the imprint for where the alien feet are. And it says this is meant so that you can sit it nicely on a table without it falling over, but it sits just fine like this. I'm not sure about having the drinks in it because I didn't really try that. The way that you replace the liquid, there's the top just for show, but the way that you replace the liquid is, you could probably guess, first you snap its neck, and then you rotate very gruesomely until his head falls off, and you get a tube that you can stick whatever drink you want, and then you can sip from the brains of an alien. So yeah, this is neat. This is a neat little thing. There's the bottom bit. Yeah. And then there's this thing, which I was very excited to get. This is the moving truck playset thing. I think that Disney World, their playsets that they make occasionally are the best deals. This was $40, and you get so much stuff with it. I mean, first of all, you get a moving truck that can move. The cab part here kind of turns slightly, but not really a whole lot. You can see on the inside there, the steering wheel does not move, but it is stationary, that you can put figures inside, which then you can also see from this bit that you can open it. There's the back. That's very generic text. You also get like official Eggman movers design, like a whole truck based on a very semi-obscure bit of toy. I can open this now, so I'll rotate this to the side here. It doesn't matter really which way you open it. So this goes down like that, and then the lid kind of gets stuck here, but pop it off, lower it, and you get a bunch of stuff inside. So you get 4 or 5 figures in this, depending on what you count as a figure. You get Buzz. It's a tiny little Buzz figure. That is not his dimple, I don't think. Either it's just a scuff, or it is supposed to be his dimple, and they just placed it way too far off. But otherwise, I mean, looks good. He can rotate his head. His arms can move up and down. He's got really big hands and his really big feet. The feet move. They're painted green. See, the detail is pretty solid on a figure of this size. Some paint splattering, just ignore that. You can see there's a peg there, which I'll show later, and there's giant Disney Pixar branding, so you know this is an official product. Then you get Woody. There he is. His head, again, can rotate the same points of articulation. Arms move up and down, and the legs move up and down. He's got pegs on his feet as well. Surprisingly, they bothered to paint the cow prints on the back. And there's another peg underneath his pull string. Then you got Rex, which he has a very noticeable seam there, which is kind of annoying, but otherwise he's pretty solidly detailed. His eyes don't look very wonky that much. His teeth kind of do, but his head, again, obviously can rotate. There's the back, and the legs move up and down, of course, and they move separately unlike Woody and Buzz. Then you got Ham. Yep, there's not really much with Ham. You can't even really rotate his head, which kind of sucks. Good looking Ham figure, I guess. And then this one is kind of debatable. You have RC, it's a freewheel, so it can move its tires, and the tires are in a softer like rubber material, which is nice. A very long antenna. You can see there are pegs there, which then you can take, say Woody, let's put Woody on the front, slides in there, and now Woody can sit on RC. So you get a little mini play feature thing there too. Buzz kind of has a harder time sitting on here. You can't really make him sit. His feet don't fit in the pegs. Woody's do. It does fit here. So you can have him lying down like he got very sleepy suddenly. Woody's driving a drunk Buzz to the hospital. And then you get a couple more accessories for Buzz. So you get a rocket, big one, and that just slots into the peg there, like so. And then it does kind of support itself like that. You don't really need to worry that much about him falling over with it because it has that very long rocket bit there. Yeah, it looks kind of weird because it's not like fully up. I mean, it's neat that they still included it. And then you get this. You get this rocket ship box that opens. There's another peg. Take Buzz, put Buzz in the box, and there he is. He sits nicely in the box. And then on top of that, you get a Luxo ball, which this is that hard plastic, but I mean, looks nice. And then you get the kind of a throwaway one. You get a box. Cool. I think when they came in the little plastic or the little paper bags, Ham sat in the box, Piggy in a box. And then the playset itself, which is going to be a bit annoying to record, but you can see it has his dresser with the small die-cast carved ramp, the rug, which kind of has a seam in the middle because of the movement there, which kind of sucks, but I mean, it's still there. You can see the side of the bed, and the top part here. You can see it has the cowboy pillow, and this, which I don't know why they went with a newer design for Buzz when they had the perfectly good original one, but whatever. ABC Roundup, and then there's like a little window out here with a very blurry picture of the outside. There's also the watch clock thing with no Mickey, and a bookshelf, which you can put figures on. Here's Woody. There he is, he's on the shelf, cool. And then this part, the bed itself, is a little latch thing here. So you can open it up. On one side it has the cowboy bed sheets, and on the other it has the Buzz bed sheets with another updated design, because I don't know why. And then you get what I think is meant to be storage space, but you can't really fit everything in here. You can put the big one, Woody fits, Buzz, that's about it. That's all you can fit in there. But you can also, I think, you can put them sitting down inside as well for extra play space, which is nice. Mostly it's just storage space. It's the bottom part of the trailer, but and then you can pack them up, hide them away forever. Nobody will ever find them now. And then you can close it up, There's the headboard. Here at the front bit, you can put Buzz inside. There he is. You can sit either one of them, and they can drive the truck. But yeah, I would say, as far as playsets go, this one's pretty neat, especially for the price. You get little figures. These are very cute little articulated figures. It's a bonus. A bunch of stuff, a bunch of accessories, which is really nice. And there's also a Pizza Planet truck one, but I was interested in getting it, but it's $30. It only comes with Woody and Buzz, and it's just the truck. There's no transforming feature to it. It's just like a Pizza Planet truck that you put Woody and Buzz in, which, yeah, this one's the better deal, I'd say. So if you're getting one, go with this one, definitely, for sure, because this is a pretty cool little toy. Alright, it's been a while, about a week, since I last recorded. I decided to not use the microphone this time because it ended up being a disaster last time, the last few recordings, so now I'm just going raw. And this is the rocket ship crane game thing. This was the largest purchase I made at the parks, or actually at Disney Springs. I think this was like $55, and it comes with 10 aliens and the actual crane itself, which is functional. This is a redesign of a previous version, I believe. This is like fairly new. I think this came out last year. And in terms of the redesign, I think it's effectively the same, except there's an added button. There was only one button and a joystick on the original, and the alien designs, the alien figures have been completely redesigned. There's a sticker, it's a Try Me sticker. I tried getting it off, but it just will not, it refuses to come off, so I don't know what to do there. I believe the aliens are going to be pretty easy to film. There's only 3 different versions of them. The first one I'll do is this one, which all of these are based on like existing renders. I don't know if it's obvious, but this isn't like a plastic material. It's actually the movie accurate kind, so you can actually kind of squeeze them a bit, which was a very nice surprise for me. I was kind of shocked. And combine that with the fact that these are like really good looking little figures. These are like a really good thing just to be thrown in with an entire like crane game. And you get 10 of these, which is super impressive. I mean, the worst aspect of them is the hand painting, but like, otherwise they are really good. And then there's this one with a slightly different arm pose and a more outstretched mouth. Again, this one's a bit firmer, I don't know why, but you can see it is still like malleable. And then this one, which the other 2 were 3 each, this one has 4, making up 10 total, and it is just one with the hands on the chest part. But again, I was super impressed with these. I thought these were just going to be like little throwaways. And these are redesigned from the earlier ones, which aren't very movie accurate. These are like almost perfect. These are really good. And now for the machine itself, which is pretty big. It's not super heavy, but it does have a decent weight to it. Here is the top part. This is a decal, but there are 2 different buttons, and I will explain how it works. And then this joystick, it isn't like restricted to 8 directions or whatever. This actually just kind of feels like an off-the-shelf like Xbox controller stick, but for a claw machine. And then in here you can see there is a really weird looking prize sticker. It's kind of rough looking, and then there's the speaker, which this does make a lot of noises and it's very loud, and that's the Try Me bit. The claw was also redesigned from the previous iteration. This one is like more of a grabber bit, which I think this one works probably much better. Space crane, this is why I made that one post about these not being like accurate to the movie, because they need to have all the electronics for the top part in this, and it can't be a full clear dome. It's a mess. Then the back part, there's the Try Me mode and the power mode, and then the part for opening or for inserting all the aliens. This can come out, which is way easier to refill. So the other side, and then the top just has the painted bit. And then you can see the internals there they're not super crazy, but they're functional. I'll put it on Try Me mode first just to show. And this is how it is in the stores. So each button makes a sound. I'm not sure if it'll like work because it takes a while. Usually when you're playing the claw machine part, it plays a very short 30-second like loop of "You've Got a Friend in Me." It's a really like decent sounding rendition. It's not like, it's like a sequenced, it kind of sounds like an old MIDI, but it's a good rendition. so setting it to play mode. I should probably insert some figures, so open that up. It does work with all of them in it, but it's way harder to, like, get it to actually pick anything up, so I only got it in, like, 3 or 4. Kind of shuffle them around. This button starts, and then this button, you push and hold to move the crane down, and then once you have it, you push and hold it to move it back up. And then, obviously, this steers the thing. There's the sound. Alright. So, I'm not going to look through the viewfinder on my camera. So it's a very loud machine, but it does... It works. There, see, I got an alien. Now, drop it. There it is. There's another one. You can see it kind of stops at certain points. So effectively, if you want to get these last two, because it won't reach them, you gotta shuffle it around. No! There we go. Another one. I didn't realize I put 3 of the same ones in there, but whatever. Alright, now he's standing upright, which this is not good. It's basically impossible to get them standing up, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And now it is perfect. That's effectively it. It is a really good claw machine. I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting this to not really work that well, but even with all of them in, it's a lot harder, but you can get it to work. You can get all of them out, and yeah, it picks them up nicely. It has a good sounding, if a bit short, track loop. It functions. I'm just kind of impressed. The figures are really great. Still, these are like really good looking figures. But yeah, that is it for this space crane thing. Alright, it's been another 3 weeks, and I'm finally back with the final part of this. This is the Lightyear XL-15 Buzz and spaceship playset thing. They do not sell this anymore at the Disney parks, obviously. The movie is 4 years old, which feels so wrong saying that, but it'll be in June that the movie turns 4. That feels so unreal. But yes, this was a product that was made to tie into that movie. This was $70 originally. I did not get it for that price. Long story short, it was 20 bucks. And I think $70 is way too much for this. And yeah, I guess I'll just start with the Buzz figure. So I actually didn't get any of these at the time of the film's release because the Disney store nearest to me closed, which sucks. But yeah, I did not know that Disney had their own figures they put out, and they are comparable to the ones Mattel had at the same time. But obviously these are a lot more painted. His head does actually have like a ball joint articulation, which is really nice, so he can look down, which is kind of necessary for the shift back there. Otherwise, it is mostly the same as the Mattel figure, just a lot more paint, and like, the rotation is largely the same. There is no hand rotation, it is just molded to the arm, which kind of is annoying, and the elbow joint really does not feel great to move. These are also super, super loose, which I guess is nice, but it just feels off. The joints on the legs are not, which is good. In the back, this jetpack is supposed to be removable. I put it on once and it will not come off. The wings do open, and they have that awkward looking, tiny look to them that these little figures do. So yeah, this was an expensive figure, because you could get these in like a 3-pack and they were $30, I think, originally, which is absurd, especially considering the Mattel figures went on sale so quickly. Yeah, that's this thing. And then you get a fuel cell thing that is just a printed decal in the top there. Clear plastic. And here is the XL-15. It's quite a bit different from Mattel's one they put out. Theirs was a lot more like action-oriented with the whole play feature of like popping Buzz out. This is more focused on like battery-operated stuff. Yeah, the details, again, really solid on this overall. You'd hope so for a $70 toy. The cockpit, this does open up, and the cockpit inside is very well detailed. There's a lot of paint. It's gonna be very annoying to record this, but that is the control center there with the Ivan thing that is barely mentioned in the movie. While we're here, I might as well take Buzz, and he can actually fit inside the ship really nicely, even with his jetpack on, which is thankfully pretty good considering it will not come off. But he slips in there, and there's a little pocket for his jetpack to go in. There he is in the cockpit itself. There's a little joystick thing here that moves. And otherwise, it is just a really decently detailed ship. The underside here, you can see the power switch there, and this part, which I'm not sure how it's supposed to work exactly, but you put in the fuel cell and you close it up, and I think it like triggers sound effects and stuff. The manual was not very detailed, and it kind of sucked. And this does have landing gear, which is kind of pathetic compared to even Mattel's. So they just pop out and up like this, and that wheel is fixed in place. There is no moving that at all whatsoever. That is really annoying. There's the other one, same deal. Pops out, and then the bottom bit here opens up, snaps out, and clicks into place. Now you see the problem with these back parts, these back wheels, is that they collapse really easily. So it is a pain in the ass to get this set up properly without it, you know. And the fact that this is super top heavy at the back because of the batteries does not help. So yeah, I guess we'll turn on the power switch. I think it's this one. And there is a button at the back here. And then the Ivan thing in the front here is a button. And this part actually lights up. The cockpit is neat.
Hello, I am your internal voice-activated navigator. Call me Ivan.
That's pretty cool. That's something Mattel's didn't have, I'll give it that. This is just generally a lot more well-detailed, I think. This is a really annoying camera angle to get.
I'm sorry. My safety protocols prohibit me from terminating countdown.
The button on the back does the same thing.
Approaching 50% hyperspeed.
The one final major thing this does do is on the back here, there's this little thing there, which opens up, and you can take the fuel cell and insert it in there, and it's essentially, there's a button inside. Pushes in. And so now the thing lights up, the back thruster bits. So that is interesting, although it is very touchy. It really does not like to work all the time because the button is a bit... It relies on the button here, and if it doesn't register the fact that the fuel cell is in it, it just won't work because this thing is kind of flimsy. Otherwise, that is it for the XL-15 ship. There really is not a whole lot going on with it. There are some neat little play features, and it's considerably more detailed than the Mattel one that they released, but for $70, I don't know if this would really be worth it. I don't know, I can kind of see why this might have not been a big purchase, but yeah, it is still a pretty neat looking thing, especially if you can get it for the cheap price that I did. The figure is nicely detailed, although it is kind of shitty that the back jetpack does not come off very easily, like at all, which that's kind of frustrating, but otherwise it's good. I wouldn't say it's better than the Mattel one, but yeah. And that was everything I got, and it's the whole video now done. Yeah, like and subscribe if you want, and I'll see you all later.